2414 is a podcast about finding hope and common ground through casual conversation. Like the friends on the road in the New Testament, in Luke chapter 24, verse 14, we want to walk away with more understanding that leads to more conversation as the journey continues. Thanks for walking with us.
Hey.
Hi.
What's up?
Hello.
Hello. Well, hello, everyone and listeners and kind of just, everyone at this table. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Jonah, Megan, friend of the show, Brenda Schmeling. Thank you guys so much for being here, and thank you, listeners. This is 2414, a podcast that's just about conversation and real life and getting to know people, especially the Kaufmanns. Woo! Yeah. People are dying for this episode. They really want to get to know you guys.
Totally.
So it's super exciting. So for listeners, my name is Shane Welter. Thank you guys for joining us. And we're going to go around the table, just introduce ourselves, and we're going to do a round of highs and lows. And we're also joined by baby Sarah today. Woo! And Jonah and Megan, Sarah's your child, I think, right?
I think something like that.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
She's how old is baby Sarah?
Almost 8 months on
8
Saturday.
months.
I know.
You're closer to a year.
Oh, don't talk about
Don't
that. we don't talk like that.
We won't talk about Sarah at all. No. But we're going to introduce ourselves. We'll go around to Brenda, and we're going to say our names and just highs and lows about, it could be today, this week, past month, because highs and lows are really an easy and great way to just see how you're doing in life today and just, what's happening. So, again, my name is Shane Welter. Hey, highs and lows. Lows, I would just say a little disorganized from where I'd like to be and planning for kind of the season ahead of fall and winter and Christmas. I'm sure is going to be here in about a week.
99 days.
Oh,
Who's counting?
But who's counting? Certainly not the chalkboard I forgot to erase and change the date on, but oh well. Just disorganized. High would be just a few days ago celebrated friend's wedding, California. Mr. Chase Uden and his wife Haley.
Shout out to them.
Shout out to them on their honeymoon. But it was super fun. It was in like the Mammoth Mountains, which I thought was like Yosemite, but apparently it's not. I look at a map and I see Yosemite, but it's all just mountains to me. So I'm like, it's Mammoth Mountain. I have no idea.
Right.
But it was super fun. Also, I think my body is not used to all the change in like elevation and climates, because like it's more humid here. Out there, it was so dry, just so dry. Like everyone's skin was like cracked and lips are like falling off. It's just like
So gross.
so dry. Yeah. Sorry. All right. But
How do you know the people that got married?
I went to high school.
Okay.
We were just like best friends growing up.
Aww.
And we were just like each other's best friends, like from freshman year to, we went to Concordia Irvine together too.
Okay.
So
Okay. Very cool.
So still are very much. Yeah. So there's a connection, but they're in California and stuff, but that's enough about me and stuff that's happening. Brenda, I'll throw it over to you.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Brenda.
Hey, Brenda.
My low is that I haven't been getting great sleep lately, even though I'm so exhausted by the end of the day that I can't wait to get into bed. And then pretty soon it's like 12:30 and I'm still tossing and turning. I'm like, I only have this many more hours I can sleep and it's not happening. So that's been the last couple nights. So that's a low. My high I shared with Jonah and Shane earlier, but I'm going to say it again because I still think it's funny. But I was in the kindergartner class earlier this week, and we do Bible story time, and at the end we pray, and the kids are having a lot of fun throwing out silly things they want to pray for. So they've thrown out like, we're going to pray for pineapples and pine cones. And then this week, one of them said, and farts. And I said, okay, we're going to pray for all of those things. And so we did. At the end, I whispered like, and thank you, God, for farts. And they laughed. But at the end, after we said amen, one of the little boys said, that wasn't a really good prayer. I'm like, oh, I mean, I thought it was. Like, why not? And he said, well, you prayed for farts, and farts aren't a good thing. And I said, well, farts are a natural thing. So we give thanks to God for all of the things, but we'll try better with our prayer next week. So that it cracked me up. So that's still my high later on this day after
You're being
sharing it
judged
already.
by your prayers.
I know, from a kindergartner, like so judged. But anyway, that's it for me.
Nice.
Megan.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Megan.
Hi, Megan.
Probably better known as Sarah's mom around here. My high be going to Dash Point State Park on Sunday afternoon, and we went down and found a beach with sand. And that was exciting. It was really pretty at sunset.
Oh.
That was really nice. And then we did like a little trail, and Jonah went mountain biking, and Sarah and I were strolling along by this creek, and it was just really nice. My low, I'm going to piggyback off of Brenda's low because I also have not been getting great sleep. But
Is it you haven't been getting sleep, or Sarah hasn't been getting?
she's been getting sleep. She just wakes up.
She just.
And then I wake up. And yeah, it's just hard going back to sleep, knowing that she's probably going to be up again in like an hour and a half.
Oh.
So you're like, why even go back to sleep? But
It's like by the time you are finally able to fall asleep, it's like that or an alarm's going to go off. So,
yeah.
yep.
So,
Ugh.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's worth it.
Well, and then also the time that you have when she starts to sleep at like 9 o'clock, you like want to spend time together as a couple.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So then you're up for like maybe another hour or two. And then it's like, okay, now maybe we'll sleep, which like just reduces the amount of sleep that you get later on.
Because then she's still going to wake up in like an hour and a half.
So it's a
Go to
lose-lose situation.
Yep.
Yeah. But it's okay. Because she's
Aw.
cute. And
She
it's
is.
like smiles at you when you pick her up out of the crib. So it's okay.
How can you be mad at that point?
Yeah.
That's so cute. Awesome.
Cool. Hi, my name is Jonah Kaufmann. I'm the brand new director of Christian education or director of youth ministry here at St. Luke's. I don't know what title I should be going by some days.
I don't know. Pastor Dan seems to really love the director of Christian education, but I think it's a written one as
I was gonna
director of
say
youth
the
ministry.
installation service, like each service had a different slide. I'm like, wait a minute.
I changed it in between services because Pastor Dan kept saying, installing Jonah Kaufmann, director of Christian education. And I had director of youth ministry out there. I was like, all right, I'm going to change it. And it's like, I don't know.
Yeah,
You're
well, like
both.
announcement slides, you had like the little parentheses in there with stuff in there. So
Titles are arbitrary.
yeah,
Anyway.
exactly. I'm just Jonah Kaufmann. Just
That's
Jonah.
all. Just Jonah.
Just Jonah. Megan stole my high. I was going to talk about Dash Point as well. That's all right.
It was just too
You're not allowed to talk about it ever.
No.
Can't talk about it.
Ha.
I also had a good time at that. But another one that I'll share is we went to the fair on Friday.
Oh,
The
yay.
Washington
That was
State
fun.
Fair. Yeah, so that was a good time. We went early in the morning, kind of when they just opened, and around 11 o'clock, and had fair food.
Fair scones.
Fair scones,
Ooh,
of
heard
course.
those were good.
Yeah.
Hawaiian food. Fried food.
Was it crowded at that time since they just opened?
Not at
or
all.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No,
All the kids were in school, and it was really kind of gloomy, but it was
Okay.
perfect.
yeah, we would have ridden some rides, but having a little one doesn't
Yeah.
allow us to do that.
Sarah's
It's
not
okay.
48 inches yet.
Yeah,
Those are recommendations, right? Right.
right, exactly.
Strap her in extra good.
Yeah.
She'll love you forever. That's
Right.
no,
I
don't
think
take
my-
your babies on rides, please. No.
Yeah, right, exactly. But yeah, my favorite part about it was eating a Korean cheese dog, which I saw someone online on TikTok sharing about it, and I was like, that looks delicious. And it's literally just like a fried piece of cheese.
It's
And
like
it was
a
Is there a
delicious.
bun?
it's like a mozzarella stick
Yeah.
on a stick.
What?
Yeah. Like the breading
With
was
like
really
a-
sweet.
Yeah.
And
It had this really light like crispy breading, and then you bit into it and it had like a good cheese pull.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like condiments with it, or is it
do you
just
dip
No,
it into something?
You could put stuff on there. I've seen people put stuff on
There
there.
was some with
but-
like fruity pebbles on it or like hot Cheetos
yeah.
on the cheese?
on the?
on the breading. Like,
Oh,
yeah, on the
Oh.
breading.
that
Yeah, I don't
that
think
one doesn't sound
cheese and fruity pebbles is something I would equate with one another, but
Well, it's fair. It's fair rules. That they don't exist.
Yeah.
Anything's edible there.
good. And hot
everything
Cheetos just goes on everything these days.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
The crumbs of that.
Ooh, yeah.
Right,
I mean, I'm not
Fried
saying it's
Oreos.
good on everything, but
Yeah. I think my low just feels like with unpacking and everything, like some days we get lazy coming home from work and don't want to unpack stuff after moving here. And then other days we're like, oh, like let's just take a whole Saturday and get it all done. And it just feels like a never ending quest. And then, you still have the normal chores that you have to do regularly, like cleaning up the dishes and keeping the place as clean as possible. So just very tiring matter. But
And then being a full-time parent.
and then
On
being
top-
a full-time parent. Yeah.
yeah.
See, Brenda, you were smart. You moved in before babies. Ugh.
it just happened that way.
We just did it all in
You did
one
it
year.
Did it all at once.
Yep. Rip the Band-Aid off.
It's still being ripped off. I'm the sound
Slowly.
slowly.
I like it.
And that's a painful process.
No, it's not that bad.
Ugh.
We at least have a floor that needs to be like, there's a floor, and so now you can actually like clean it
Yeah.
because now we have a floor.
And not
Because there was
exciting.
like boxes on it before.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now there's no boxes, and it's just nice to have more walkway.
Mm.
You're not like scooting around boxes trying to get places.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Well, and we'll turn it over to Sarah. And highs and lows, Sarah. Yeah.
Mommy's sleeve. That's a high.
Her high is anything with mom or dad.
Oh, or
Her low is teething, probably.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Rough.
Could you imagine teething like as an adult? Like,
Oh, no.
like I feel so bad for babies.
I feel like we
Right.
wouldn't handle it as well as babies do.
no.
No.
They just have to suck it up and just cry and just. Oh.
Well, like I imagine the days where like I wore braces. Like
Oh.
I think a lot of people wear braces, and like just the pain your teeth go through during that time and experience, like multiply that by 1,000. That's probably what babies are feeling. Just not a very fun feeling.
No.
I would think.
You know what's funny? Anybody who's watching this is just going to keep seeing me like smile. Like I'm not smiling at the camera. Like I'm smiling at Sarah. If you can't see her, but she's right there.
So it's fine. Yeah, like with I'd say most of our listeners probably listen on Spotify or iTunes, like podcast style. But then some also listen/watch on YouTube. So if you do want to see Jonah's beautiful face, Megan's pretty smile, and baby Sarah's fun movements, you can watch on YouTube to see that. Or you could just come on a Sunday morning and talk to you guys in person too.
That too.
But
Yeah.
It's true.
no. So thank you guys for sharing. I'm really I really am excited. Like, I know obviously like some things about you because we went to school together, but there's a lot like I'm curious to ask you guys about and see how like the conversation plays out like for you guys' lives and all of that. But we're gonna get into that in just a moment. So we like to have fun or pretend that we have fun on this podcast, and there's this old game. Familiar listeners will recognize this weird game we play called Outburst. But there's this game we play called Outburst, and it really it's similar to Family Feud, where there's like a topic. There's like this card on top says cereals, and we're basically gonna guess the top 10 things regarding that adjective or description based on what the survey or whoever made the game chose to write about it. But the catch is this specific game is from the 80s. I don't even know if the box is laying around here somewhere, but I can see on the shelf. But it's old. And so like I remember there was a topic one time that was like tall people.
Tall people in the 80s.
In the 80s,
Okay.
the Jolly Green Giant was on there. So
Michael Jordan, maybe?
That would not
Michael-
come
yeah.
to my mind.
but and then other people you've never heard of in your life.
Most of these
So-
we're not going to know.
No.
That's okay.
Yeah, and similar to the show, there's no do-over. So if the topic is characters from MASH, I don't know. I'm not. Yeah. Good luck. We're just gonna spit out random names and say a prayer that we got one of the, the names right.
There you go.
So, guess what we'll do? Unless we've played it before, and then at the very end, there's this red decoder thing from those old Spy Kid. There's spy kits that you maybe played with as a kid. I don't know. All right, but Jonah, since I'm closest to you, we're gonna have you pick out a card.
I'll look out this way
Pick
so
a good
people
one.
know I'm not cheating.
And Brenda, can you be ready with the timer? Oh, and there's a front side or back side. And the only rules, if it probably didn't age well, we won't read the card because rules were different in the 80s as well.
So just pick a side or
Pick a side. We'll take a moment to process. If you guys want to write it down, listeners at home, feel free to play along or scream at the top of your lungs at the ones we're obviously missing because it's so obvious. That's how we'll play it. So what's our topic of the day, Jonah?
our topic of the day is toothpaste brand names.
Oh, good luck.
And go.
Crest?
Colgate.
Oh,
I was
nice.
thinking Colgate it too.
Sensodyne.
Ooh.
That's what I-
Pronamel.
Yeah, I love it. Pronamel.
Are we all supposed to be keeping these away from each other?
No. This is a collaborative.
The Disney fruity ones that
Ooh.
do they even really
Colgate, that's Colgate.
Oh, we did.
Oh, weird.
Training toothpaste.
Is there one
Sometimes
called Cool Gel or something like
Sure. Cool gel.
Orajel?
Orajel. That's the one. Yeah.
Isn't Orajel the
thought you guys
if you
were
have a
writing 'em.
tooth pain? Is that a toothpaste?
Yeah. Well, maybe it's both. It's on the list.
It's on. If we said it, it counts. That's a
Toothpaste?
tooth.
Oh, I should.
Pains. No.
I'm just gonna say floss in case for whatever reason.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe
Was
Listerine makes one.
Oh,
Yeah.
Maybe.
Was charcoal toothpaste a thing yet?
No.
Why not?
Well, why
Probably not.
It is now.
I don't know what it's
brands,
called. Brands. I don't know. I'm picturing Target in my head, but
And
did they
time.
have Target?
Oh man. All right.
Was Target around in the 80s?
How
I think so. Sure.
how do you think we did?
We got at least 4 of those. I think.
Brenda's
I
feeling.
think 4.
At
Brenda's?
least 2.
All right, Megan's pessimistic. Jonah, how many out of 10?
I'm going to say 100.
100.
So we got 100.
Did we even name 100
We,
things?
we did infinitely better than we could have imagined. I'm gonna say 2 as well. I'm with Megan. There's
I
gonna
think
be
Colgate and Crest are the.
there's gonna be some weird things. Like I can't not even know the word 10 now, let alone in the 80s.
Right.
All right. From the top, it starts with probably more confident and we'll get more obscure. Number 1. Oh, everyone's favorite, Gleam. With 2 E's.
Yes.
That was
Lean.
right on the tip of my
Gleam.
tongue.
Yeah. So, all right. Starting off strong here. All right, number 2, Ipana? Ipana? I-P-A-N-A?
Hi, Panna.
Ipana. Ipana. All right.
The Southern.
I have no idea. All right, yeah. Comment below if you always use Gleam and Ipana. All right, number 3, Crest.
We got
Yes.
one. We got one.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. All right, number 4, Topol. T-O-P-O-L.
Good old Topol.
Topple?
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 Sure.
I was
Toppling
like,
Like,
do you know that one?
Like topical, like
Topple.
oral application? I don't know.
Tongue?
Oh, okay.
Topicals? I don't know.
Oh, okay. Number 5,
Making things up.
Colgate.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
there's the
we
2.
got 2. I like it. All right, number 6, Ultra Bright. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Those bright,
on,
bright
Sensodyne.
teeth. All right, we're getting there. All right. Number 7, Pepsodent.
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 Isn't that a denture brand?
That's probably
Why do you know that?
everyone's favorite, Pepsodent. Number 8, Aqua Stripe.
Oh,
That one
I
is real.
remember
Like,
that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
we all collectively like, okay, that one's still around.
The, like
Memories.
one red strip in there. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't it red, white, and blue?
I think.
Yeah, I think typically. Or like green.
That
White,
sounds
green, and red.
Now I'm
Familiar.
second guessing.
All right. Number 9, Plain Wrap. In parentheses, generic.
Oh.
in case you didn't know.
Okay.
Plane rap. And then number 10, Zact. Z-A-C-T.
Okay.
Comment below
So
if
you
you
guys
used
were right.
anything but Colgate and Crest or
out
Aqua
of
Stripe, I
10.
guess. Yeah, we were 2 out of 10. We were let's see. Sarah was screaming all the right answers the
Yes.
whole
She
time.
She's like,
all
these
that.
were so obvious, you guys.
So here's our reward.
Oh, feels bad.
There. Yeah. That's all we got. Oh, yeah. Sarah really wanted us to get Aqua Stripe. But just like real life, we get to hear from baby Sarah too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It'd be so fun.
She has a voice.
She has a voice in this, just
loves
as
it.
much
She will
as
not be
any of us.
ignored.
She will not. She wants us to know. But I guess speaking of baby Sarah, let's transition over. We really want to get to know you guys, and so we're just gonna ask random questions about like maybe like where you guys are from, or let's just start there. Where are you guys from originally? Like, she said you grew up in one place most of your life, or did you move? You know, start with Jonah and Megan. To you.
I mean, mine's a lot less exciting. I was born and raised in, I guess, how like specific do you want me to be?
So specific.
I was born in Torrance, California.
Address.
Yes,
Little
longitude.
Company of Mary.
So Torrance, California.
Torrance, California. That's just where my mom worked, so that's where I was born.
Is that where in California? Like,
Wait, like Torrance?
yeah, I mean like northern
Oh, like,
California,
where is
southern.
Torrance?
Yeah. Sorry. Where's California? I don't know.
No, Southern California. Like,
Okay.
near Long Beach area. So I was raised in technically Lakewood, but went to school in Long Beach.
Okay.
Like elementary, high school in Long Beach. Obviously went to Sarah.
Shit.
Pass off the baby.
Oh, passing the baby.
My bad. I also went to Concordia Irvine for college. Met Jonah, and then he got sent to Kentucky.
Wow. Just like that. All within a few years.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so you grew up same place. Or-
Yeah. Same house.
And you
Lived my
guys
whole life, yeah.
both have the same last name. Crazy.
Wild.
It's crazy. What I'm asking.
Yeah.
I'm asking this like I pretend I know. But for listen, what's your maiden name?
Oh, Hasty.
Hasty. How do you
Hasty.
Hasty?
It's in the dictionary.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is it
Like to move like hastily. Yeah. Like quickly
like
or
hasty.
like hasty.
Make haste.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. There you go.
Was that like a running like? Did you like joke about that like growing up?
I
Like a
didn't
fun
joke
fact.
about that. Did other kids joke about that? Yes. Definitely. Anytime in English, like you'd read it out loud and someone said haste or hastily, it was definitely like, oh, Megan.
You can hear in the book.
Yeah. So, also
Something
Megan was a
beach.
really popular name for like math problems. I feel
Was
like
it?
too.
They're always coming
Like,
up.
there's always someone buying like 80 watermelons, and it was more than likely a Megan.
80. Like Jeremy ate 28 watermelons.
Right.
Out of 40, how did Jerry feel?
Except it's just Megan. So she's
just
eating
Megan.
48 watermelons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Torrance, Long Beach.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mainly grew up in Long Beach just because that's where I went to school, and was on my high school swim team and volleyball. Yeah.
Is it a big high school? I feel
Yes.
like Southern California,
Huge,
everything's got to
yeah.
be big.
Yeah, definitely. Long Beach has like 5 high schools in it, and each have about like 5,000 students. So you can meet someone new every day and not meet everybody at your school.
It's a small city.
Small town living.
Did you know her high school was the one that Drake and Josh was
Yeah.
filmed at?
They
Yes.
went to the same high school?
Yeah, like when you watch Drake and Josh, like the high school that they're at, that's my high school that I went to.
Yeah.
Now I'm just
did not
imagining
When they cut to like the different episodes, like you can tell that they've done some video editing to like make the outside look different. But if you
It's
were
just,
to go
like, the
to her
colors are
school,
different.
like you would see that that's her high school.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
What?
Show you a picture. Yeah.
So wait,
That's pretty
they
cool.
went to it like in the show or like in real life?
Like
Both?
real life, like the filming
okay.
of like where it took place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was called something
That's a-
different in the show and all that. you know,
Yeah.
But
I'm just imagining your high school like just had like a people in the background like, oh yeah, woo, like that's like a sitcom everywhere you go. Like,
yeah, no, Megan was in the background of those episodes. Yeah, she was
just
walking
a
around.
film crew everywhere.
Yeah. I don't think I was in high school yet.
Oh, no, you weren't. But
Yeah.
neither was I guess. But
Yeah.
But either way, that's still
Pretty
really
cool.
cool. And then, so you, Jonah, it sounded like you had a more complicated origin story.
yes, I do have a complicated origin story. I was born in Texas. I just totally broke this pen. I'm sorry.
We didn't like it anyway.
Do you need the Sarah's fidget toy?
Yeah, maybe.
Yes.
I fidget with
more.
my hands a little bit, or fidget spinner, whichever. Yeah, no. So I was born in Texas, Kingwood, technically. So if you want to go see a plaque there, they'll have a plaque that says, "Here is where the Jonah Kaufmann was born at." It's pretty impressive.
It's very.
I'm completely joking about that. They don't have that there,
But
but
we can make one. Well, where is that in Texas?
it's in the Houston area, so southern Texas, close to the Gulf and all of that. So very hot, very humid there. My parents, well, both of my parents are church workers, and my dad at that time was the only one called to a church down there called Lamb of God. Shout out to Lamb of God, wonderful church. And so from there, when I was 4 years old, we moved from Houston up to Illinois, to the northwest suburbs of Chicago. So my parents were serving both of them at Prince of Peace in Palatine, Illinois.
Palatine.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then it was like being a city, you're just all over the place. So like our house was in Hoffman Estates, and then I went to Schaumburg High School. So, just kind of different cities in that area.
It's kind of a bit of everywhere.
Bit of everywhere in that little spot there. So I had lots of fun. That's where I grew up for most of my life. So
Okay.
13 years in Illinois there.
Ooh, over a decade.
Over a decade.
So,
yeah.
wait, because timeline. So when did you move to Illinois?
So I was 4 years old
4 years old.
when we
Okay.
moved. Yeah. And then I lived there for about 13 years. Had some really great friends, met some really great people. Had the wonderful world of at school. At school, there wasn't as many Christian people, and I was a public school, so got to meet a lot of different people from different lifestyles and walks of life with that, and then go to church in a totally different city with people who were still in the same school district, so I could relate to them and talk to them, but they were my Christian friends and the people I could talk to and knew about, and so there was kind of that interesting dual nature there, but it's always kind of funny when you look back in life or even like on Facebook nowadays, because I can look on Facebook and like many of those friends I had in high school at a public high school, like share their faith online.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, we never talked about faith in high school. Kind of cool to see that from you, but
You had an impact on them.
well, there was an impact. Yeah. You never know. You never know. But from there, being DCEs as my parents were, my dad being full-time and my mom being part-time at that church, my dad received a call, and it's kind of funny. There's a little bit of a story to it. This pastor at our church in Illinois, he was of the same years in college as my parents, even maybe like the same year as them, going through college. And eventually they got called to this church, and it was wonderful ministry going on there and everything. But at one point, the senior pastor accepted a call to California out there, seeing the need and seeing God's call for that. But then like less than a year later, my dad gets a call from him on his birthday, and my dad
on your dad's birthday?
On my dad's birthday. Yeah. And my dad's like, this is kind of weird. Like, this pastor doesn't call me on my birthday. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, we have a position open, not just for one DCE, but for two DCEs, full-time positions, which in the LCMS is very rarely heard of.
Yeah.
And so they had to really contemplate God's call on that. And they eventually realized, things were going great in Illinois, and there was a lot of leaders there that my parents trusted and knew could do great work and continue to do stuff at Illinois, and that my parents were needed to share God's word in California. So they took the call.
Wow.
And so as a high schooler, I was not all too happy about that because I was about halfway through my junior year of high school. So I had all these friends and people I knew and grew up with.
Yeah.
And had to make a big move, big life decision.
That is a big move
It
from
is.
Midwest to like very populated Southern California.
Yeah, like almost the same as moving from like someplace like Kentucky to Seattle, like kind of strange.
Yeah, but you wouldn't know anything about that.
No one knows has that experience, right?
No.
Yeah, but so we moved to California.
So
And
where in California?
Yes.
Like, was it Torrance? Was it Torrance? Long Beach?
no,
No.
no, not Torrance.
Torrance is only where my mom worked.
Oh, okay. That's
We
it.
never lived there.
Yeah, we don't talk about Torrance.
Yeah, no, we moved to Orange, California, and that's where my parents served at St. Paul's out there, and finished off my high school there and spent that time there. And then because I was so close to Chicago and California, I kind of came to this crossroads decision of, do I go to college in Chicago at Concordia University, Chicago, or do I go to Concordia University, Irvine? Thank the Lord, I said yes to going to Irvine because that's where I met my wonderful wife and many and great friends, such as a person named Shane and Brenda, and got to meet them a little bit and experienced college life out there. So that was the fun part about being at college out there and enjoying that sunshine. And then because of the nature of DCE programming and such, after my 4 years of college there, my 5th year of internship, I was placed in Kentucky at Holy Trinity out there.
So I'm curious to hear from both of you, since you're kind of already talking about what led you to Concordia Irvine. So like you said, it was between Concordia Chicago, Concordia Irvine. So what was the pull from one or the? Well, I feel like the pull for Chicago is because you're from there, but for your perspective, what was led to that final decision? Like Irvine, that's the one.
I really think for me, a lot of it was like proximity to parents. Definitely. They were like 30 minutes away from me. And I had a really good experience, with he's still a DCE actually nowadays, still a pretty good friend of mine too, named Wesley Spottiswood. Yeah. So
We all know Wesley.
good old
Listeners
Wesley,
are like,
right?
who?
yeah, no, he, when they had a program at Concordia Irvine where as a senior in high school, you could go and stay the night on campus. And then they had you go to the cafeteria the next day and go
shadow them.
Yeah, like shadow
Shadow a
them.
student.
Shadow a student, right.
Within the school year itself.
Within the school year itself. Yeah. And Wesley was my shadow. So it was like me and 2 other guys all packed in like the row dorms or whatever out there.
That's like just so funny to imagine knowing Wesley, like Wesley and Jonah. Okay.
Yeah.
That is a fun combination.
Well, and like as a high schooler, like I was a little skeptical of it. Like really, because
Of college or
no,
of Wesley?
staying with Wesley.
how would you describe Wesley for
He's
for
a
listeners?
very, very outgoing person and just loves all things ministry, and is just so willing to share the word of God with you right away. But it's almost so like in your face with it. You kind of like need to back off for a moment to be like, who is this guy? But it's just true. He does have such a heart and passion for ministry that's what, that's how he acts, that's how he feels, and that's what he thinks. So, as a high school senior, I was very skeptical and like, who is this guy? And like, I didn't know this back then, but there were so many connections because he was a fieldwork student under my parents at St. Paul's.
What?
Yeah. So, he really knew my parents and was like, "You're the Jonah Kaufmann." And I was like, "Who are you?"
No idea.
But I stayed in his dorm and it was a good time. I enjoyed it. Really, really thought it was cool. And yeah, from there it was like, okay, like I could see being here. I could see being on college life here. being in the same classes as Wesley and all that. And that's kind of what led to the decision for me, at least, to say yes to Irvine, which is crazy.
Yeah. That's super cool. And it's just, the life in the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod is a very close to, you'll know everyone. You'll always meet
small
someone.
Lutheran world.
Very small Lutheran world. But what about you, Megan? What led you to Concordia Irvine?
Yeah. So I'd only applied to 2 colleges. Maybe it worked out fine. But all my other friends had applied to like 8. And I was like, I have 2. It'll work out.
Save a few $100s because there's always
definitely
an application fee.
Yeah. So originally I knew I didn't want to go to Cal State Long Beach because the Long Beach Unified School District had a kind of a system where you could get free application fees and I think a huge discount on your first year if you went from a Long Beach high school to Long Beach State. But that's where my sister went. I was like, I don't want to go there.
Yeah.
But so I applied to Northern Arizona University in Flagstaff, Arizona.
Whoa, that's not California.
No, yeah, it snows.
It snows.
I applied in August and got accepted right away and had a huge scholarship and everything. But we went out and drove out and visited the day after Christmas. We drove out there and visited, and it was in the negatives. I had never been in snow before. I'd never seen snow fall from the sky before.
Wow, yeah.
So it was kind of a this is not for me.
Sometimes people, are like, wow, snow, and they fall in love right away, but it was complete opposite.
Yeah. Well, I was I don't want to have to walk in this. In
the campus, everything's just spread out.
Yeah, it was huge. I was absolutely not. I'm not doing this. So I obviously applied to Concordia and done a lot of the see you soon and all the things that they do at Concordia. I went to all of them. And I also did the shadow thing. Honestly,
maybe the same weekend I was there too. I don't know.
Maybe, probably. They only do those once or twice a year. Maybe.
Yeah. So it could have been.
I don't remember who I was with, but I remember I did one of those and I loved it. Stephen McCarthy, if you guys remember him, was one of my field worker students was there. Brenda was one of my DC interns when I was in high school. So there's a lot of Concordia influence at my home church in Long Beach at Bethany. There's just such a tie. We had interns from Concordia one after another for a really long time. And so I had a lot of influence from that. And just playing handbells too. A ton of the people at Bethany went to Concordia. So even the vice president, the McDaniels, Gary McDaniel he was the vice president at Concordia for a really long time until just a few years ago. And so
there was a lot of
there's
connection
a lot
from
of
your
connections
church
and a lot of youth went to Concordia. And so it was, I went and visited and I was this is the place for me for sure. And even though I still got a scholarship there for academics and music and everything, but it was definitely.
And at the time when because you're saying you played handbells, I'm sure a lot of our listeners or members at the church probably know Rachel Hogue, Rachel Brandmeier. You guys played together, right?
Yeah, we played together. Yeah.
So now you're here. That's crazy. Full circle how that.
Yeah, crazy how that works out.
All connects.
I know.
So what you guys? I think you might have said it already. DCE, Director of Christian Education. What was your major and what led you to pursue that in your life?
Yeah, I had 2 of them in my life, mom and dad. So they were definitely huge influences on that. But growing up, I was always on fire for the Lord and wanted to share God with everyone I met. I had the Christian T-shirts, the Christian bracelets, everything you could imagine to be hey, I'm Christian and I want to share God's word. And at one point I thought to myself, you know what? I really like listening to Christian music. I want to become a Christian rock star, just like Toby Mac or Newsboys or any of them out there,
Yes.
And so I was that's going to be my life. That's what I want to do. And then I hit puberty. And then
that's the end of the episode. Thank you guys for joining.
Yeah. And I realized I like to sing, but maybe I'm not as vocally ranged as those people
So
are.
you started playing trumpet. That's
So
how-
I started playing trumpet and playing a little guitar and eventually euphonium. But yes, and then I just kind of said to myself, okay, if not rock star, like what else? What else can there be? And obviously with my parents both being DCEs, I was like, you know what? I could just follow in my parents' footsteps and look towards ministry and share the word of God just like they share to the people around me. Because like, are the youth around me the presidents of any kind of businesses or the country or anything like that? Not right now. But they're my friends, and my parents have made a huge impact on their lives. And even sitting in this seat right now, there's so many of my friends from church that I look at Facebook and stuff, and I'm like, wow, like I'm so glad that like God's influencing them and working in their lives to share, you know, his word with them. So kind of why I became a DCE, if you will, in that passion and fire, and you know, why I love being a part of ministry.
Yeah.
So.
That's just that's just super enlightening. Like I don't know, like you went down that path like in college, and you're still doing that and still pursuing that.
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like it. I can't say it's the common story, but some people go to like university, college, and like, all right, you being an engineer, and then like 2 years later they're doing like graphic design. Like,
Right.
No, you're like you're doing what you set out to do. So
Right.
so
Yeah.
cool.
I just get so stuck in my head, like I'm gonna be a DC. I'm gonna be a DC. Like I don't think I really ever like questioned. I guess I should say I have said if I wasn't gonna be a DCE, I might be a mechanic.
Ooh, like any specific kind of mechanic?
Well, just not really. Like maybe like a car mechanic or something. I just because how much I like to fidget with my hands. Like I feel like I could be a really good like worker with my hands.
Professional
kind of person.
fidgeter.
Like, professional fidgeter. Yeah.
Professor. I like that. So could you take apart an engine right now? If you
No, I can't. Though when Megan's parents were in last, I did change a headlight and
Ooh.
refilled my transmission fluid. So I'm getting
All
there.
right.
I'm getting there.
Baby steps.
Yeah, baby steps.
Baby
can't
steps.
can't cancel that career path yet.
Right. Exactly.
Don't change it. No, we like
Yeah, right.
we like what you're doing. But how about you, Megan? What was your college university pursuit?
Like, what did I major in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just being fancy or dumb.
So I went in for athletic training.
Is that from sports you did, like swimming and volleyball?
Yeah. So middle school, I did like track and volleyball and basketball. Hated basketball, only did it because all my friends were doing it. And I was like, yeah, I want to do that too. And I did it for 1 year and absolutely hated it.
It's not for you.
I'm just not a runner. It's just constantly running back and forth. And I was like, I absolutely hate this.
They threw you in water and you're like, I like this.
Yeah, you're in your own lane.
Yeah.
You know, like if someone else is in your lane, like that's a problem. You know, like it's just you in the water. And I don't know. I like the beating your own personal record, I guess too.
Yeah.
Though I did a ton of sports growing up, and I'm also very accident prone.
Oh no.
Like if I'm gonna get injured, I'm gonna get injured and tear things. So I've had shoulder, hip, knee, and ankle surgery.
Like not all at once.
Not all at once, but it was like almost every other year. So like
in high school.
Well,
like throughout,
I mean,
like childhood through
Your
college.
whole life,
like,
it feels like at this point.
at this point, I just never technically broken a bone. Knock on all of the wood.
but every other like ligament and joint kind of
Pretty
thing.
much, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I started in like 2014, dislocated my shoulder, so I needed shoulder surgery from swimming. Maybe should have listened to my orthopedic surgeon because he was like, if you don't plan on going to the Olympics, maybe you should stop swimming. And I was like, no. So I kept swimming, and then I dislocated my hip 2 years later, in 2016, and so literally like
These are all swimming?
yeah. So
What?
my shoulder was in practice. We were doing butterfly, and I am not a butterflyer. I am a short distance, like freestyle or backstroke. And so we were just doing drills and everything. So you're, you know, fairly good at all of the strokes in case you need to fill in for somebody. We were doing butterfly, and my shoulder like went out too far just from overuse, and it just popped.
But I'm so curious. I am not a swimmer. Lauren, my wife, did a lot of swimming when she was like in grade school.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, when that happened, like you dislocate your shoulder while swimming. I was just like, I would drown and die in that moment. But like, what do you do? Like,
I mean, I guess
like one arm kind of
crawling towards the side of the pool, like
grab onto the ankle next to you.
right.
Like,
I mean, like the pool is like not huge, so like you can at least kind of get to the side. And I kind of popped it back in, like in the same motion. Not really realizing that's what I did until afterwards.
wow.
Yeah, so you just kind of, I heard a pop and I was like, it's probably fine.
It was a normal pop and
You know,
from the shoulder.
Yeah, your joints kind of snap, crackle, pop, you know. Yeah. But yeah, so I ended up having surgery in the summer. And then, 2 years later, dislocated my hip on a flip turn.
Flip turn is that like the back
When you
flip
get to
thing?
the wall and like they flip to go the other direction.
Gotcha.
They like push off the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that pushed off too hard or
My
hit
heel
it?
got caught in the gutter
Oh. Ugh.
because I flip turned too close to the wall. It was a backstroke and I
gives me
flip turned.
shudders thinking about it.
My heel got caught and I didn't realize my heel was caught, and so I still pushed, but my foot was stuck. So
Oh,
it just
All right, so we'll have a whole separate episode of just Megan and like injuries, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
talk for hours. So,
Yeah, so-
you got injured a lot.
I did. Yes, that was just half of them. You know, knee and ankle later on.
Later on. Oh, okay.
It's fine.
So from all
From
of
all
those,
of that, yes. Getting back to the main point of athletic training as my major. I mean, I had been in physical therapy so much, pretty much every year of high school, and I loved it. I related to it, and I was like, I could definitely see myself doing this, and I have the experience of being an injured athlete, and so I was like, I want to be able to help other injured athletes. You know?
Yeah.
Especially when you watch like football or any sport, really, and you see someone get injured, the first ones there are the athletic trainers on the field. And I was like, I want to do that. Like, I want to be those people running out there, like, you know, helping other injured athletes out. So that's what I majored in. Primarily, I was there for they had a 3+2 program where you can technically graduate in 3 years with your bachelor's and then an extra 2 years and get your master's in athletic training. So
like
5
an
years.
accelerated like master's base in a sense.
Yeah, pretty much. So you can get your master's and bachelor's in athletic training in 5 years and become a certified athletic trainer within all of that. Obviously, since I'm a teacher,
So something
happened. Yeah. So halfway, it was April of my junior year of college.
So second semester.
Second semester. Just picked all my classes for fall, the coming year, for senior year. I just picked all my classes and got everything figured out. Just applied and got accepted for the master's program. So I'd done my 3 years, and now I'd be a senior and be my first year technically of the master's program. And we all get an email that our program is being cut, being discontinued.
Just full on. Yep.
Just
that thing
cold
you were
turkey.
pursuing. Yeah. Not anymore.
So, yeah, that was a big thing. We had a big meeting with the Dr. Polly, our director, and everything, and just kind of got the lowdown of what's going on, what it looks like going forward. That we either needed to change our major or transfer to schools if we want to continue athletic training. And we're like, well, it's about to be our senior year. We're not going to transfer. And then with the Concordia core classes, it's like, how does that transfer to another school? Like, not well.
They don't.
I just switched majors to exercise sports science. And then since I had all my credits and everything from athletic training, I have a minor in rehabilitation and allied health.
Oh, wow. So, so was that like the closest next option? Like, so
because they were kind of reworking the whole kinesiology department, kind of just reworking everything.
Kinesiology.
study of like how the body moves.
Okay. So
Yeah.
okay. So anatomy kind of, but with I guess that I see how that like translates to like sports and
Like
athletics or
yeah, so if you're like a kinesthetic learner, if you've heard that, you like learn by movement, you learn by doing, and so
like a fidgeter.
that root word,
Yeah, there you go.
fidgeter. Yeah, so I mean, I can get into like the medical terminology of it, but yeah, it's a study of how the body moves.
Okay.
Yeah, so they were reworking the whole department after that, which now I hear that they're actually doing really well with like their whole brand new sports facility that they've built, which is awesome.
So it has athletic training been reintroduced? Like, do you know? Like,
I don't know. I hope so, because I mean kinesiology had like the largest number of students when we were there, and so I hope that it gets built back up.
Well, like Dr. Polly's still there, isn't
No.
it? Oh, no. It was Taman. That was still there, wasn't it? Yeah.
wow.
That's right.
So then,
So yeah, two of my professors are still there.
Yeah.
The
So-
others
so then your
left.
major was so exercise sports science with a minor in
Rehabilitation,
Was it rehabilitation?
and allied health. Yeah.
And then you started teaching. Was there something
Yeah,
else in there?
So COVID happened.
What? Never heard of it.
So because Jonah and I were going to get so we got engaged senior year, like you do at Concordia.
Which I do want to get into.
Yeah.
I want to get into that.
So Jonah went off to Kentucky that end of May. And then I stayed back in California and lived with my parents and worked at a physical therapy clinic there as a physical therapy assistant. And so I got to do what I had gone to school for, and I was loving it for a while. And then Jonah I got married, and the company I worked at in Long Beach had a location in Bowling Green. And so it was perfect. So I could just transfer over, and it was like, wow, God thing for sure.
Yeah.
So it was really nice, like before even moving, knowing that I had a job, which was super comforting. But in Kentucky, how they do physical therapy assistants is they're not even allowed to like really interact or do exercises with the patients at all. You're just kind of like a glorified
Like observer
cleaner.
or
yeah.
Okay.
So you just like cleaned the equipment and got things
okay.
ready. Like you got the equipment ready for them, but you weren't like going through their program and like helping them with their exercises.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the whole reason that like you wanted
To do that.
to be there.
Yeah.
So that you could get that experience and help, I don't know, kind of
Hands-on.
Yeah. Have that hands-on experience. And so that I was just like waiting around for someone to be done with their dumbbell, and I'd go over and clean it real quick, and then just waiting around in full towels. And I was like,
Just watching from a distance.
yeah. And I'm like, I don't like this. Like, it just wasn't bringing me the same joy as I had hoped that it would. And so I started working in the front office, and I loved that because I oddly love paperwork. It's just satisfying, like to fill out a form. I don't know.
Organizing and that kind of thing.
Color coding. I was like, I love this, and
Yeah.
scheduling people. I don't know. I was like, I oddly am really liking doing this.
Yes.
Yeah,
Brenda just agrees. Like,
I'll bring the mic closer for that. You're like speaking my language right there. Love organization.
yes, color coding things, making sure everything's nice and filled out, and I love it. But I had always been told growing up, like, oh, you'd be such a good teacher, and I was like too stubborn to even consider it. So I was like, no, I went to school to be an athletic trainer and physical therapist, and I've told everyone knows that's what I went to school for. Like, I'm doing this.
yeah.
And then really it was when everything kind of blew up at Concordia with my program and everything. And it was like, we were all kind of scrambling. Like there was 4 of us that were in the program together, like in my grade.
Yeah.
And we were all like running like chickens with our head cut off. Like, what do we do now?
Yeah.
Like not knowing like what our life purpose was anymore. Like, we had been promised this and now it's not happening. And like, what do you do? And so I had 2 professors that really like I went and talked to. I was like, I don't know what to do. I just need to talk to somebody that really like Jonah's helpful, but he's not like in the program.
I'm not the one who's doing the work and, and
so,
teaching her or anything like that.
Yeah. So we all, the 4 girls and I in the program together all went and sat with the professors and we like just had a powwow, just sat on the floor in their office and cried and laughed and just had a big powwow. And they were like, Megan, you'd be such a good teacher. And I was like, like that thought kept like coming back in my mind. And I was like, maybe I need to do something about this. So while in Kentucky, I was like, you know what? Like, I'm not finding great joy in doing what I set out to do with physical therapy. And like, I have huge support to go ahead and pursue my master's in teaching. And so that's what I did.
And and you got your master's?
I did. I got my master's in teaching in December.
Yeah.
This last December?
December. Yeah. December 2023.
Woo, congrats. There's a sound effect for that, I'm guessing. Yeah. There's the Drake and Josh school. There's the
There you go. Yeah. So, I got my master's in teaching, certified in middle and secondary education for science. So still love science, would love to teach anatomy and science. So my life goal, be Miss Frizzle,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Miss Frizzle.
Yeah. So that's who I was for Halloween, was Miss Frizzle.
Oh.
But yeah. Yeah.
That's
So
incredible.
and I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
It's like the perfect blend of my medical like science knowledge that I love, and then I love working with kids, and it just blended perfectly in teaching.
Yeah.
And it just took a long time for me to finally realize that that's,
And you really have enjoyed what you've done kind of within that so far.
Yeah.
Obviously, because it's still fresh, like coming out of
Yeah. So, I mean, I only taught for 1 year since I just graduated in December, but I absolutely love it.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. So that was a really long-winded
I was
explanation.
so curious how that
Yeah.
all like played out like from there
Yeah.
and how it got to where you're at so far in that.
Mm-hmm.
But then I am curious too. You guys
Back
are
to the
married now.
love story.
Back to the love story. Spill the tea. And then there's a baby here now. So
Yeah.
So where'd you guys meet?
Oh, where did we meet, Megan?
On French Hill, like the first weekend of like when the freshmen all move in before like anyone else is there.
Mm-hmm.
At what university?
At Concordia University in Irvine, California.
There you go.
Oh,
French Hill. It was a
not
August
Fresno or
night.
what was the Flagstaff? Not Flagstaff.
No, well, there's a connection to Flagstaff.
What?
I'll share that part.
What?
So we
That's another reason I said no.
we met up on French Hill. It's the big hill in the back of Concordia University, Irvine.
The one and only hill.
The one and only.
One
hill.
and only.
And many freshmen on their first night go up there because it's like we're in California, adventure.
Yeah. Go
like,
see
Yeah.
the Disneyland fireworks.
Go see
from
Disneyland
there.
fireworks from the top.
Got
right?
that new energy.
Yeah, exactly. So her friend group and my friend group both met up there at the same time.
Yeah.
And
Well, my roommates and I were like, we need to bond and get to know
Yeah.
each other, so we decided to go up there.
yeah, and so our groups met and we talked and chatted, and
So you just happen to meet up there.
we just happened
Yeah.
to meet up there. And turns out Megan lives 2 doors down from me.
He was
Within the
109.
dorm.
Yeah,
There's-
within
yeah.
the dorms. Yeah,
Yeah, he was like 110. I was 109.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they're sweet styles. So we weren't living with each other, just separated.
Yeah.
Just in the same hall. And so we got to know each other a little bit from that. And our friend group really, they knew each other very well. We kind of created this gigantic friend group from that. But
Yeah.
Oh, so you guys all got along.
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
well.
We created one gigantic from that night. We created like one gigantic friend group.
but Megan was dating another guy.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was dating a guy from who, instead of going to Concordia Irvine or somewhere close, he actually went to Flagstaff, Arizona.
Yeah. He went to Northern
He
Arizona.
went to the university.
The
that she
cold
had.
tundra.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I don't think he'll ever.
Yeah, so they were long they were long distance at that time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as Megan and I chatted with each other, we talked and got to learn a little bit more about each other. And being with the same friend group, we hung out a lot and got to know each other quite well from that. So we were good friends. And then eventually, it kind of starts to hit you like, I think I kind of like this girl, but like she's dating someone else. So what do you do about that? Like, how are
yeah.
you supposed to feel about that? So
Cry.
yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry.
right. But I think Megan too also kind of realized like, whoa, I'm kind of falling for this boy.
Yeah. And I was like, this isn't good. Because I am technically still dating this other boy. So, yeah, obviously. Well, you guys went to Sedona for something, Arizona.
Yeah, we went to.
You guys went to Sedona, Arizona for something.
There was like a
and I
fall
went to
break or
go
something.
visit my boyfriend at the time in Arizona. And like he's in Flagstaff, and I was like, "Oh, all my friends are in Sedona. We should go to Sedona." Oh, it was with my family. My family,
your
was there.
family, and with your then boyfriend.
Guy at the time.
Yeah. So that
I'm like scared that like I'm not friends with him on anything. So I'm like, what if he finds? Yeah. So I was like, oh, my friends are in Sedona. We need to go to Sedona, aka Jonah's in Sedona. So we need to go to Sedona. And it was the time where the push-up challenge was happening.
the push.
You remember the like 21 push-up challenge that you do like 21 push-ups for 21 days and you like challenge other people to do it.
Oh,
It was for
remember
like
that.
veterans awareness, I think, at that time. So
Yeah.
okay.
It was something
doing
like that.
push-ups.
And so Jonah was in the middle of doing it. And so he challenged this guy.
Well, I think I challenged you, but we were in Sedona, and so we were all like as a friend group, like in the same spot. So like we met up with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And saw each other in person. We finally got to meet this like mysterious boyfriend that she may or may not have been dating at that time. Who knows?
I don't know.
We finally met him.
Oh,
And I had this bright idea in my mind. I was like, oh, you know what? Megan, you haven't done my challenge yet. We should all do the 21 push-up challenge. Including this
guy.
boyfriend. This guy.
And whoever gets the most push-ups gets Megan, right?
Well, yeah, that's kind of how it was starting to turn out because then,
That's how it felt.
and that's kind of how it was.
It was
So-
horribly awkward because I was like, I kind of like Jonah. But also, like, how do I, end things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So brought it to the competition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I won. So I
Swept me
He
away
did-
on
yeah.
white horse.
we have video of it.
You did 20 billion push-ups in that
Exactly,
moment.
exactly.
And then that.
No, I just did them
Yeah.
faster.
No, yeah. It's like odd when like your Facebook memories come up from that.
Yeah. Like, ooh. Oh, yeah. I remember.
And I'm not really one to delete Facebook photos regardless of who it is. So like, yeah,
So
we
they
still
keep
have
coming
awkward
up.
memories like that on
Yeah.
Facebook.
It's just kind of funny. I'm like, oh, you remember when that happened? Yeah.
So the push-ups happened, and like in that moment, he left. Or how did
Yeah.
that play out? Like,
It was, I don't know. It was all just like in fun. And then you guys left, like, because you're all the DCEs, I think, were in Sedona, weren't you?
Well, yeah, it was for church workers. So
Yeah.
we were there for fall vacation.
you were in
or something
Phoenix.
Like that. Yeah, we were in Phoenix.
You were in
we went,
Phoenix.
We
when
went
you were in
up to
Flagstaff and met in
Sedona.
Sedona. Yeah.
Yeah. And so then we, it was kind of weird. It was like we stood up after the push-up challenge and it was like, all right, that was done. And like there was this kind of like silent communication of like, what's going on here? Like,
yeah.
I think he had caught on.
and he started to like catch on to it. And
Yeah.
Eventually, we split ways and went back to Concordia.
It's just all awkward fun.
yeah,
Like,
so all awkward fun, and then eventually
We were having a movie night in my dorm room with like all of us were all in my dorm having a movie night. And he was just bugging the heck out of me. He was like, I was
Her
his
guy
first
at the
girlfriend.
time.
My guy
Oh,
at the time. Not
gotcha.
Jonah.
okay. I was like,
Clarify. I don't know. I was his first girlfriend and he was just constantly texting me all the time. And I'm like trying to have fun in Concordia and like, be in the moment and everything. And I
trying to
was
date
like,
this other guy. Like, he just.
Get off my back. I'm trying to hang out with my future husband.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. So I was like, told everybody like in the movie night, and I was like, I'll be right back. And so I went out and I called him and I broke up with him. And I on the phone, and then I came back in and I was like, hey, I just broke up with him.
Just casually. Like,
yeah, she just walks in like, yep. So I broke up with my boyfriend. Sits down on the couch and like continues
Continues to
watching
watch
the movie.
continues watching Shrek with your friends.
And like
All
there's
right.
just like because we're with our friends and there's just like this silent air of like ooh.
Is there that tension of like everyone looking at Jonah now, like, did you hear that one?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, what? So,
So then 3 days later, I'm like, all right, I got to scoop this girl up now. So I went over and I was like, hey, do you want to go out on a date? And she was like, yeah, let's go out on a date. And so like that afternoon we went for a walk down the canyon, I think, or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was nice. It was lovely. It was wonderful outside. And we came back. And I was like, awesome. Like, I'm dating this girl. Let's go. Like, it's official now. And then like
The whole next day, he was telling everyone.
I was telling everyone. I was like, May and I went on a date. Or boyfriend, girlfriend now. Ha, ha, ha.
We're getting married.
And then like in the evening time, like friend group comes to hang out together and whatever. And I remember being pulled away by her best friend Leah into this room where all the other girls had congregated except Megan, apparently.
Oh,
Yeah.
And they're like, Jonah, like, are you boyfriend and girlfriend yet? I was like, yeah, we are. They're like, then you need to tell her because she doesn't think that you're boyfriend or girlfriend.
He hadn't asked me.
so you guys went on a walk, and
I thought it was just a walk. Like, just a
Casual walk.
yeah. it's
Jonah
a-
was doing like sign language and Morse code with his eyes, and you're like, blink if you. And I guess Megan didn't pick up on the memo.
No, she didn't realize it.
Yeah.
So then finally I went over to her and I was like, Megan, I've got to tell you something. And we were in like a weird position or something because like she had her hands out and I had my hands out and like we were holding hands like far away from each other. I don't know. It's like, do you want to be my girlfriend?
No. You had a Mike Trout jersey.
Oh, that's right. They wanted me to ask you out homecoming style or something like that.
Yeah. He had a like an Angels like.
I was like,
Anaheim
I know I'm
Angels,
not
like,
Mike Trout, but would you be my girlfriend?
Oh,
something
that.
really
something
odd.
Super cheesy.
You remember it well. I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then she was like, yes, of course. And then we hugged and then like we backed away from each other. But I don't think like either of us wanted to let go or something weirdly. And just in that same moment, I was like, should we kiss now? And Megan was like, yeah.
I thought that's what you're gonna do in the first place, but then we hugged.
You know, those early relationship, like,
So for those of you that like watch movies like The Notebook and all those kind of things, like real love is not that.
This is not.
but I think
It's
that,
awkward and
That's so
it's-
beautiful,
Yeah.
though.
This is like November, so we
Yeah.
freshman year.
Okay, so I mean, really, like within the first few months of
Yeah.
Yeah.
freshman year, yeah. Wow. So I mean,
And here we
that's- here you are. But like, but to like think of like how like awkward, but like personal in real life, like life starts in that way. Like,
Yeah.
like it's like
It's
people are
messy.
expecting relationships that are gonna be like so poetic and perfect and like divine and like I was written in the stars
And then God called to me and
Yes.
swept her off her feet. Like,
yes,
no, it
and
doesn't
the
happen that way.
white horse came and you guys, the rest was history. But yeah, like just your life is awkward.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
And that's okay because we embrace that awkwardness.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know?
And obviously, like you guys are still together now. Like now, baby Sarah is just lounging, just chilling.
Thank you, Brenda,
Yeah.
for taking care of
Yeah,
herself.
thank you,
thank
Brenda. Our babysitter sitter, and that's the real reason you're here, I guess. No, so all right, so you guys met. All of, I guess, college happens. You go out to Bowling Green, and that's your kind of first
Yeah. Official
official call
internship
job.
call. And that was during COVID too.
Mm.
So at the start there, so all the awkwardness that came with COVID was what I experienced for the start of ministry, which wasn't fun by any means. It was a lot of learning how to be in an environment where you're not supposed to be 6 feet away from each other, but yet you want to gather together and be God's people and sharing the joys of that. But no. So yeah.
So you had to creatively figure that out in your first year or 2 or 3.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Bowling Green, which do you know anyone in Bowling Green? Was it completely remote?
It was completely remote for us. I mean, we really had no connections. The only real connection we had with Bowling Green, which we didn't even know at the time, but the church we went to was our DCE director's very first congregation that they were at too.
Oh wow!
So like, for instance, on one of the, just to show the impact you make on a place when you're there, what's it called, tape dispenser still had her name on it. Yeah.
just some dust on it, wipe that off.
Right. There's some dust on it, but it had her name on it. And
Wow.
so when we eventually left there, I even put my name on it too.
Oh, now it's like a communal or like.
Yeah, all the DCEs who go there have to put their name on
the tape.
So if any future DCEs of Holy Trinity are listening, you gotta put your name on that.
Put
tape
your name
dispenser.
on. Do not take those names off.
Right.
They're important.
Unless of course they throw it away because they're like, "Who's this Jonah Kaufmann guy? Yeah. Who needs him?
We don't need this tape dispenser anymore from the 80s or whatever.
Right. Exactly.
What?
No one uses tape.
Yeah, no one uses tape.
Yeah,
anymore.
what is tape?
Yeah, we just buy. I don't know, the future. I don't know, whatever it is. But that's really cool. Like,
Yeah.
so, and I'm like, Bowling Green, from one of your mentors, you were full-time serving at that church in a ministry position. And so you were there for how long until Megan joined?
I was there for a year, my 1 year internship.
Okay.
So we were apart from each other for a year. So that was a little strain on the relationship of long distance and not always being in contact with each other. And she came out to visit a few times, and I think I went back out there.
I think
once
we
or
at least
twice.
saw each other almost every other month.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
We did.
Yeah, the congregation was really good about making sure that we could still see each other and have that time.
Yeah, especially when I got to like spring, because he went out there at the end of May 2020. We got married June of 2021.
Right.
Yeah. And then especially during the spring, I was like, we need a place to live. And so I was going out there. We were like touring apartments and getting things figured out.
So where were you? Were you not at a place to live before that, or?
No, well, I was staying at a house of one of our congregation members.
Oh, okay.
Very gracious of the man, and he's become a real good friend of ours as well.
Wow.
But for my internship, he was like, "Hey, like I've got an upstairs room. It's just you." And he even offered to us after we got married. He's like, "You could still stay with me if you want upstairs." But I think at that time we just wanted our own place to stay at. But yeah, I lived upstairs by myself. If I go back in some of my memories in my phone of like early videos I did for COVID stuff, and like you can see myself like looking in this like attic of a room kind of deal, like
Yeah.
and it was a very nice room, very very spacious, but it's like the height of the ceiling wasn't really tall enough, so I was kind of like crouching over as I was like trying to do like lessons and stuff for the
People are
kids.
just listening. Jonah's only like 5'6", right?
Yeah.
Pretty short guy.
Pretty short guy.
How tall are you?
6'3".
6'3".
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, attics weren't kind to you.
On like a twin bed. Feet hanging out.
Yeah. And
And a cat.
and I'm a guy, so I'm like, I'll get along with anything and whatever. It's not a big deal to me. But
Yeah, I remember when I first moved here, I used a cardboard box for my like dining room table, dining room, whatever,
Right.
for the longest time. It's just guy living.
yeah, exactly.
It's fine.
Boy dinners and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, mac and cheese every night. Like I don't know, it sounds great.
Right, exactly. I had way too much ramen, I think,
Yeah.
during that year of internship.
Yes. Until you got married, and then like, okay, I guess we really got to, get things together.
Then I realized what it's like to live with a woman who actually cares about what we have and the
Meal
space we
plans.
have and meal plans and taking care of yourself at the home, not just at your work and stuff. And that's the beauty of marriage, I think, is I've really learned a lot about not only us and about Megan, but about myself too in our marriage, as she's kind of that voice of like, hey, maybe you shouldn't just be eating only a chicken breast for lunch, but like maybe think a little bit more about what you're eating and the food that you have, and think through life a little bit more, which I really appreciate that.
Yeah, you guys take care of each other. As Megan takes care of you, Lauren takes care of me in that way too.
Right.
Brenda takes care of Adam. Right.
And then the other way around too.
And then
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So we got to hear your life story, and as currently like wrapping up things, I realized haven't like talked much about like what are things you guys enjoy, maybe like together, but also like personally too. So as in like, I don't know, do you have hobbies? Like, what do you enjoy to do on an empty weekend?
Lately, we've been enjoying going. I mean, there's obviously so much new here. Finding a new park or a waterfall or just somewhere to go out and explore and just see the area. We just love, even back in Kentucky, we just like going out and seeing things and doing new things. We were big like theme park people. I mean, like Disneyland and everything. But so we
went to Dollywood a few times.
Yeah, I had Dollywood passes.
That's like the theme park, big theme park.
Yeah, it was like 5 hours from us in Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
A close 5 hours.
It was like the closest.
But hey, that sounds fun.
Yeah, it was super fun. So
yeah, we just generally like exploring and going to different places, and you know, on an empty weekend we go out to like, you know, go up to Seattle or go to a national park.
Yeah, Snoqualmie Falls or
stuff like that.
Would you like to do like same thing in Bowling Green? Just explore.
We went to Nashville a lot.
Yeah,
mainly for their
Target.
Their big Target.
Their Target?
Their big Target.
We had the smallest Target I've ever seen in Bowling Green. So it was nice to go down to Nashville and be like, wow. This is nice.
They got the big.
They got big Target.
No, like when we were looking at baby registry stuff, she literally was like, "Hey, Jonah, I know you don't like traveling down to Nashville all too often, but like, can we go to the big Target just to fill out the baby registry stuff?"
Our Target had like maybe 2 aisles of baby stuff, and that was it. And I was like, no. We're going to the big Target.
Yeah.
We're going to scan all the things.
We need these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and at Trader Joe's.
Yeah, and Trader Joe's.
Go to Trader Joe's.
So you guys are very adventurous going out.
Yeah.
Exploring.
Yep. We like to go out, explore, do stuff. We also picked up disc golf for a while.
Yeah.
Bowling Green's known for a lot of their disc golf courses and golfing courses out there. So we did that quite a bit and going on walks and stuff. Stay home sometimes, played card games with each other. We've tried a few different card games, everything from Magic the Gathering to Pokemon to there was even one that we tried called Sorcery, I think it was called. So
I don't even remember that one.
It's a little bit more of my hobby that Megan just kind of
a little more in
I just kind of support.
He's nice to support that one.
But yeah, so
any favorite shows, games?
Favorite shows?
Favorite shows. Ooh.
How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, yeah. How I Met Your Mother.
That's the big one that we watched when we first started dating. And then we kind of just we kind of make compromises on the shows because there's not really like necessarily one specific genre that we both are like totally dead aligned on. But like one night Megan will be like, "Hey, can we watch like a rom-com?" And I might be like, okay, fine. And then she puts it on and then I start getting really invested in it too. And I just know that's how I'll be. So I'm like, yes, like we'll watch what you want to watch. And then there'll be a time where we watch like a guy show. So like we'll watch a superhero movie or something.
Yeah.
And at first she's like, "Oh, I don't want to watch this. Like it's too guys, just too many explosions and stuff." And then like and then she gets invested too.
Yeah.
Or she falls asleep. I don't know, whichever.
Or one of the It goes both ways.
It goes both ways. Yeah.
So.
Shows. I love to bake in general. I love to bake. And
that's just like
things.
You love.
I like baking.
Baking specifically, not like cooking or like
I like to cook,
like but baking
I like to
cakes, cupcakes, brownie, that kind of world.
Like
brownies.
Well, especially. Good old Ghirardelli brownies.
Oh yeah.
But like muffins and like banana bread, muffins, banana pudding. I guess you don't really bake banana pudding. One. Yeah.
But like desserty kind of things.
Yeah.
Like bread ever?
Not like I want to kind of get into sourdough.
Ooh.
If anyone listening has a sourdough starter, let me know.
I feel like there is. Let Megan know.
Comment
below your address. So
if you're making, if you've made sourdough.
We used to receive like a loaf of sourdough every other month from a congregation.
Yeah.
And it was always pretty good. Kind of inspired Megan to start.
Yeah.
To sourdough.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Hobbies. What else do I do? Well, cross stitch.
He loves cross
stitch. Sound like such a like
Southern
Southern
making red cross stitching.
cross stitching. And I also like you said you went to theme parks a lot. When I went in college, like I always knew you guys always going to Disneyland. Would you consider yourselves like Disney nuts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's put it this way, okay? When Sarah was born, right, that was in January. Megan's birthday was on March 19th, and we went out to Southern California. And
For Megan's birthday?
For Megan's birthday.
Yeah.
And we got one of our previous congregation members out there from St. Paul's. Really generous people, wonderful people. But they gave us 2 complimentary tickets. They worked at Disney.
The husband works at Disney.
The husband works at Disney, and so they gave us 2 free tickets to go into Disneyland for
On my
Megan's
birthday.
That's
and
really
because
amazing.
Sarah is under 3 years old, she did not need a ticket. So literally like 2 months old, and Sarah's at Disney.
At Disneyland.
So she was christened. And
Yeah, right. So we took like a beignet and put the dust over her forehead or something like that.
You're now a Disney child.
You're now a Disney child.
Yeah. First ride was Dumbo.
Oh,
She was
first
asleep
ride was
the whole time, but it's okay.
she'll remember. It's
Yeah. We have
exactly.
pictures, and she got a little onesie. Says my first trip to Disneyland, and a little button and everything. And
Yeah.
yeah.
So we're trying to convince my parents to help us along and create a family trip to Disney World, but we'll.
Yeah. I'm like, well, she's still not 3. We got to go before she's 3 while she's still free.
Yeah.
So
We'll see.
we'll see.
They won't check, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you guys so much for taking the time. Like there's infinitely more to know about you guys
Of
and your
course.
life stories but what you guys enjoy and what makes you guys you, both like as a couple, individually as well. And if listeners, you want to get to know them too, like stop by on a Sunday morning. Like you'll probably see,
You know where I work.
you know where we work here at St. Luke's Lutheran Church on Federal Way, Washington. I don't know I guess I knew the address, but like, but stop by, like really, like talk to them, get to know you guys. Obviously, you guys love personal ministries, getting to know like people and like life experiences and like getting out there and new experiences, meeting new people, and just talking about anything. Like from Pokemon to magic to sorcery to the Bible to
Gilmore
cross-stitching.
Girls and Friends. And
Yes. And all the TV shows. Do you guys have any final thoughts? Like, I just need people to know this about me. Like, in my life, just random things. You don't have to have anything either.
Any other final thoughts?
I don't know. Do you have any final thoughts?
I guess I can come up with one or share one. Yeah, I mean, one last final thought to know about me is I love the Lord. I try to be honest and truthful about things, and just, if people come up and start chatting with me, I want to listen. I want to hear. Yeah, that's what I like to do, and that's part of ministry is just listening to people and hearing where their life story is. And just like you listen to us here give our life story, I want to hear your life story too, to whoever's listening. So I guess that's the camera over there. But yeah, that's partly why I came into ministry is getting to hear stories and see how God's working in our lives.
That's amazing. Oh, well, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you, Brenda, for taking care of baby Sarah. She's out now.
She's totally
knocked out.
asleep.
So we're going to end this episode very softly, like a Bob Ross episode. Thank you. But thank you, Jonah, Megan. Thank you, listeners. We'll catch you guys next time.
Adios.
That's the end of the episode, but we want to continue the conversation. Continue the conversation by sharing this episode, subscribing, or leaving a review. Connect with us on Instagram at 2414 podcast. Connect with us through email at 2414@stlukes-church.com. Or best of all, keep the conversation going by inviting someone to process with you, so that you can each walk away with more understanding that leads to more conversation as the journey continues. If you happen to be in the Seattle-Tacoma area of Washington, stop by on a Sunday morning and say hi. 2414 is a podcast produced by St. Luke's Lutheran Church in Federal Way, Washington. To find more content, discover upcoming opportunities to connect in person, or to support the show, head on over to stlukes-church.com. Thanks for walking with us.